If you've ever...
Welcome to today's show. I want to reiterate the fact that the left and right paradigm will be the demise, not just of democracy, because that doesn't exist, but it'll be the demise of Babylon, Mystery Babylon, which I believe is the United States of America. If you have a difference of opinion, that's perfectly fine. But I think a lot of things have showed us that this is Mystery Babylon, the harlot of the abominations of the earth. And if you don't think so, well, I mean, just see some of the people walking around and what they're trying to do at schools and things like that, and the way they're trying to groom and indoctrinate children. But I want to show you this stuff with Joe Biden because Sloppy Joe is constantly, not just in the news in America, obviously, because he's the president, he's worldwide being talked about. And he's being used over and over and over in these comedy sketches. And this isn't the first time we've seen this, because we've been programmed to see this, and we've been prepared for this. And I believe personally that everything that is happening with Biden is being done on purpose. It is an act. The most unprepared government we have ever had, the stupidest government we've ever had, the sloppiest government we've ever had. This is all setting people up and preparing people mentally for the fall of this country. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff you haven't seen recently. You know, Biden's giving a handshake to no one. He's turning around, walking around aimlessly. This is like the millionth time we've seen something like this.
Yes, you are.
And then we've had tons and tons of moments with Biden. And I want to show you moments with Biden, as well as movies that have depicted the president as someone who's completely incompetent, from Leslie Nielsen not being able to even, the UN calling it the or Lloyd Bridges and other movies, hot shot movies, where the president literally, if you look at the behavior and even some of the scenes where he's falling down the stairs, these are all things they've shown us in the past. Take a look.
Despite this current crisis, the president is putting on his best political face. 6 months ago, has plummeted since the hostage crisis began. The CNN Victoria's Secret catalog.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay, I'm all right, no problem. I slipped in the crab. Who put that crab there? Don't tell me. There were two crabs. They work in pairs.
And I'm deeply proud of the work she's doing as First Lady with Joining Forces Initiative. She started with Michelle Obama when she was Vice President and now carries on. There's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine. It's me.
Gotcha. Let's ring at the door. Looks like we've got our saboteur.
That's your wife, sir.
Huh? Yeah, so it is.
If Edwards gets wind of this, he'll use it against you in the campaign. He'll try to prove that you're incompetent.
I can prove that as well as he can. Sabotage. My God, man, what does it mean?
We have to tighten security, sir. Find out who's behind it.
No. The word sabotage. What's it mean?
That when they leave the saloon, the receptionist, the salon, they may be going to a saloon, I don't know. I caught part of President Putin's press conference, and he talked about the need for us to be able to have some kind of modus operandi where we dealt with making sure the Arctic was, in fact, a free zone. Welcome to Kingswood Community Center. Actually, that's the one down I used to work. As a joke. You didn't know where we were anyway.
But on a serious note, I'm here today at the
How was the speech coming, sir?
Huh? Oh, I'm practicing my A's. Does this look like an A to you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Have a seat. Have a seat. Thank you. Vice President Biden, Vice President. That was a joke.
President Benson. No, you're not. Seen him on television. He's an older man, about my height. But a word of advice. Don't go around calling yourself the president. I wouldn't do that, and I don't think you should either. It just doesn't hold water. Target area?
It's Minnesota, sir.
Oh, damn it, man. That's the genius of my plan. We don't have to traipse all over the world to fight. We can do it right here at home.
Sir, the enemy is over there.
Then we'll fly them over here. They can bring their relatives. We'll teach them to ice skate. Do I have to think of everything?
Now, for people who are like, no, you know, he's really this dumb, I get it. I get why you would feel that way. Sometimes I have to pull myself out when I watch this stuff because I'm watching it. I'm like, I can't believe this guy's saying this. And remind myself it's being done on purpose. Because everything you're seeing is a show. And it's to give the illusion off and to pull your emotions. You always have to watch this stuff on TV and realize they're trying to persuade you one way or the other. And to keep you inside the left-right box. So you see it, and you either, as a Democrat, you ignore it, and you think it looks smart, or obviously the Republican side of it, it looks at this and they go, I can't believe this is happening. This is embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. And it keeps you trapped inside the box. And then all of your anger gets directed at one another. That's what they want, exactly what they want. And they want it to boil up so much so that when they do what they're about to do very soon, with utterly shutting everything down for a period of time, it's going to ensue chaos because everybody's going to blame one another for why things are the way they are. And they're preparing people so it's not a shock. While it will be a shock, you know, when it first happens, people will have subliminally been programmed for this because they're showing Joe Biden and they're talking about him all over the news as if he's incompetent. Now, obviously, I've been talking about how it's being done on purpose for a while. I mean, I've been talking about politics being fake ever since I've been on YouTube and ever since I pretty much was old enough to realize what it was, which is, you know, in my teens when I see this stuff and I'm just like, this isn't real. This is legitimately a show. And if you've seen it over the years, if you're older, it's never been like this. I mean, it is never, the political spectrum has never been like this. Usually you would have a president, you would see him speak 4 times a year, that's it. And, you know, with a State of the Union address or whenever they would occur. And you would go about your life and you would, you know, think that the president and the government was handling business. And really what they were doing was building their underground cities, setting America up to fail, planning their world government takeover. And eventually what we're seeing now, which is that government's having enough power and control with technology to turn on the citizens. But now it's like everybody feels it in their day-to-day life what the government is doing because they're doing it on purpose, right? With the outbreak and everything else that's going on. But I've been talking about how it's being done on purpose. And even the right-wing media, which I obviously don't support because, you know, I know people like all of us, we could hear the right-wing media and agree with the stuff they're saying because we all know, you know, the liberal side of things is just lunacy. The people are absolute lunatics who should be in asylums, but you're getting pulled and worked into that for a reason. And what people need to remember is that the right is also keeping them trapped. So now the right narrative is they're saying stuff like I'm even saying. They're like, is he doing this on purpose? And don't think for a second that some of the right-wing media doesn't listen to this channel. I know a lot of you see it and you're like, oh, you have 60,000 subs, nobody cares. My channel, I had all these huge YouTubers who are truthers, the few of them. My channel was heading up there, and I'm not saying that to my horn. I know that they watch because I see that they say stuff. I even seen Tucker Carlson recently talking about, saying stuff and then going, huh? And I'm like, what? I wonder where they got that from. I mean, not that I'm the only person on earth to ever say it, but literally emphasizing it the way that I do it, which is just something that I naturally do in my day-to-day life. So the right-wing media is now starting to use the narrative that he's doing it on purpose. And they're starting to say, well, is he playing into this to get people angry? Is he playing into it? So the right wing is going to even say, oh, he's doing this on purpose. You might hear that in the mainstream media. But the reason he's doing it on purpose isn't to drive the right wing crazy. He's doing it on purpose because they are setting up this country to be demolished, to be destroyed, so that people go, oh, man, if we didn't elect him, And then, of course, the citizens turn on one another based on their political parties and their race and everything else that they've caused, which I've been saying over and over and over again. But you see the characters depicted in these movies. These are current movies, the 90s. That's pretty current. I mean, it's not like the 50s. The 90s to prepare people who were young teens then who are probably now in their 40s and 50s for what we're seeing now. The comparisons are unbelievable. It's almost like they took the script out of, movies like Hot Shots and movies like, what is that, Scary Movie where Nielsen plays the president. And there's other ones too where we see the president playing a buffoon, right? And no one's ever sat back and been like, why is the president always depicted as a buffoon in these movies for the most part, right? Well, that's been conditioning, because everything you see in the movies is conditioning for what is going to happen when all this stuff goes down, and all these things are going to happen at once. So don't think for a second, and I know people will look and they'll be like, well, it's a comedy, so the president has to play a comedy character. Fine, you want to take that perspective? The guy falling down the stairs and Biden falling. Okay, you could take that perspective, but the simple fact is the outcome is going to remain the same. And when they take down Babylon here, everyone's going to point at one another for supposedly electing these people, when in reality, they've put him in this position for a reason, to cause chaos amongst citizens when this stuff goes down, which is going down right now. We've seen the first phase, we're in the second phase, and everybody's getting prepared for the next phase, which, everybody feels it coming, which is going to be a shutdown, whether it's an EMP or the grid getting shut off for a long period of time, and chaos will ensue from it, and people will blame one another for it based on their political parties, their teams, so to speak. No different than, football fans watching the game at the bar. There's you got your Cowboy fans and your Eagle fans, right? And then, and they go at each other's throat. Well, this will be even worse, because the political climate that we live in now, the zombies that are a part of this and think that they're on a team, and it doesn't matter what their political party says, they go with it instead of being like, yeah, I don't agree with that. These people are rabid, and they are ready with mix in the magic potion. They are ready to explode. So that's just some predictive programming with Biden. I can't tell you every single country, if you look and you try to see what the pulse is of the media, because whatever they're talking about is what they want you to feel, and they're just persuading you. Everyone is talking about Biden. Has he lost his mind? Is he an old grandpa? He's not up for the job. He's weak. America is weak. And it's not just, it's to let people be prepared for what is to come, being done deliberately. And we've never seen this before, ever, really, with a political party. We've seen weak parties. We've seen Jimmy Carter. Obviously, we've seen Obama, but nothing like this. Nothing like, going to shake people's hands, calling the vice president Michael Obama. All these little things just over and over, walking around rooms aimlessly, saying things that make no sense, right? Playing the role like he's got dementia or Alzheimer's. And people are just like, how is this guy our president? How? Well, when they do this, they want you to blame Russia. They want you to blame these other things instead of your own government, and just say, well, our own government wasn't prepared, or they weren't smart to do it. When in reality, it is your own government doing it. They're playing you. So that's Sloppy Joe. I want to do a video on it.